Hello my friends and welcome to episode 37 of our Football Manager 2020 Let's Play with Rangers. Today we're taking on a doubleheader, the Betfred Cup final against Celtic and our Europa League group stage decider at home to Nice. But since the last episode where we had a disappointing draw against PSV under very frustrating circumstances once again, I'm going to try and not rant about the same things. In this episode, we played Ross County straight off the bat of that. We scored a penalty early on. It had been a slow start, but the penalty kick started us, with Morelos tucking it home in the absence of Barisic and Harry Wilson. Kasper Dolberg made it 2 before Niko Katic scored from a corner, and Dirk Proper on his first start for a little while scored exactly 1 minute later to give us a 4-0 rout that really did flatter Ross County in all honesty. It was 4-0 going on about 10. We then played Motherwell also at home in a midweek game, and this game was all about 1 minute for us, as you can see with the attendance for this game. Nearly a sellout on the new capacity, so that is great news. But it took us till the half-hour mark to score, and we scored twice on the half-hour mark. Niko Katic scoring from a corner, I can't remember who whipped it in, but it was a very, very good header into the back of the net. 2 corner goals in 2 games for Niko Katic, who is exhausted for today's game, but Tosin is recovering from some sort of training knock and failed a fitness test, so might not be able to play. That's a bit frustrating. Directly from the kick-off, we won the ball again, played it through to Ryan Kent, who scored, and it was the one mistake that their goalkeeper Trevor Carson made all game, which we have to take advantage of those sometimes. I'm going to jump straight to pitchside against Celtic now. It is the Betfred Cup final at Hampden. Let's go and win ourselves the first trophy of this season. Here we are with my computer sounding very, very strange, so I'm hoping the mic's not picking that up. Never heard it made that noise before. Might need to clean it out again. Not that I've not long done that. But today, in more relevant matters, we've got our team set out for this Betfred Cup final. We've got Robbie McCrory in goal as always in the cup games. He is on a cup goalkeeper contract, so try and maintain that. Our on-loan goalkeeper, the guy from Juve, basically comes onto the bench, and I tend to rest the first choice goalkeeper for these games. We've got Hendricks at right back with Jose Martinez back in at centre back. He rested the last game for John Souttar to get a game. He's signed a new contract as well. But I feel Jose Martinez has been the better player since he came in and had a chance, so I'm trying to reward him for that. He's been very, very composed on the ball. Niko Katic does play Tosin. He was down at something like 82% match fitness with a failed fitness test marker. I'm not sure why, because I don't remember seeing him picking up any injuries, and he was certainly fit for the Motherwell game. I just felt Katic was the right option for that game. So Katic is kind of been forced to start on something like 92-91% fitness. It's not ideal, and he will be knackered by the end of the game. I think he finished the Motherwell game on something like 64, so hopefully can see it out today. Aaron Hickey takes the left back spot where I think he is our best choice. Now I do want to try and still maintain getting big money for Barisic. Kokovas has played the last couple of games to help him develop, but Hickey is our top assist, so we need him for this game. Ross McCrory, the captain, of course, in the midfield with Gomez and Lowry ahead of him. Kent takes the right hand side with Dolberg on the left, and Alfredo Morelos, who's played the last 3 games all very, very well, takes the line up top. I am glad I noticed this 2 minutes in. Basically, I was still talking. I pressed the space bar, not realising I was apparently not on the game as my primary menu, and it stopped the recording. So we've done the team talk, we've done a passionate for the fans, and we had a throw in. Alex Lowry had a shot that was deflected and then saved by the goalkeeper, and we've got a corner which you're now seeing. For some reason, and I wasn't recording, as I said, I've pressed space, it stopped the recording. Space continues on Football Manager, of course. But I've caught it inside the first 3 minutes. You've only missed that one sort of half highlight, as Katic goes very, very close as a press play there. So I apologise that you missed my team talk. It was just a genuine passionate for the fans and that first highlight. In a way, I'm disappointed it didn't go in. In a way, I'm glad, because, you know, I wouldn't want you missing any Old Firm goals as we build again. We're actually pinning them in quite well here. Katic forced to go back to Robbie McCrory though, who came out, was getting a bit nervous there. He was waiting quite long. Kent header down to Gomez, back to Hendricks. Forward again for Ryan Kent. Can he find a ball in the middle? Plays it down to Hendricks instead. Good pass. Sergio Gomez blocked. Hendricks, Gomez, back to Hendricks. He's got Kent in front of him, but he goes alone. Is he going to find a pass across? He does. Gomez! 1-0 Rangers, 5 minutes in. That was a very, very well-worked move. That's the kind of thing that I want to see from this tactic. You know, getting the ball, passing it around, finding that opening, If you lose it, recycle it, do it again. And I did make a couple of changes. I told the wingers to shoot less often, and that seemed to make a difference in the Ross County game. It wasn't so much in the Motherwell game. There was very, very few highlights in that game. They literally sat Kilmarnock style, Tony Pulis. In fact, it would be an insult to Tony Pulis to describe it as Tony Pulis football. It was literally sit back, pump it forward, but they didn't have a striker up top. It was literally just pumping it in the hope that we weren't scoring and getting it away from their box, and hope that the midfielders got up there. It was a pretty much simple 10-0-0 formation that they were playing. I've never seen such defensive football as Morelos nicks Alex Lowry's strike. He does score it, but he's offside. But a good start to this cup final for us. I'm not convinced those lines are right, you know. That is as bad as the VAR call in England with the armpits. I don't watch a lot of English football, but it's absolute farcical, some of that stuff. We see Celtic on the ball really for the first time in this match, but Hendricks wins it very, very quickly into the highlight. Robbie McCrory out to Nico Katic, Alex Lowry back to Robbie McCrory. I'm not sure that was the intended destination there, or if that was a shout that Katic got to leave it. Here is Nico Katic. Big bit of interest came in the media just before this game, which was really frustrating. It was from China, so very bizarre place for it to come from just before an Old Firm game as well. Alfredo Morelos to take the penalty. I'm going to let him have this. He scored his last one in last weekend against Ross County. Let him have this one. Tucks it home. Different side this time. But 2-0 up after 20 minutes. That is exactly what I want to see. And so far from these highlights, we look absolutely dominant at the minute. Now this was a similar story to the game that I earlier in the season. We went 2-0 up. I think they came back in twice when we were looking very dominant, but is that an injury somewhere in us? Yeah, it's Kasper Dolberg. I'll give him to half time. We've got Harry Wilson on the bench anyway, so you know it's not the worst thing in the world. Winger injuries, as long as it's only one, we have a lot of cover in that place. You know, we've got Harry Wilson. We've got so many players, 4 or 5 very good options, and then a couple of lads sort of learning their trade behind them. As Ryan Kent comes down, takes a strike. I feel the cross would have been the better option there, Ryan. Alfredo Morelos would have had a tap in. Dolberg with that injury struggled to get there, but he's got a free kick. Jensen is off, and they brought Mikey Johnson on. No, they brought Danny Drinkwater on rather for Mikey Johnson. They're not so sure that was a sending off. I'm genuinely not sure. Don't get complacent, guys. Who's stressed? Katic. That's not ideal. We'll bring Harry Wilson on for Dolberg, who has that knock. Did look a bit slow in running to get that ball where they got the red card. So, you know, bring him off. They've changed formation. Not surprised they've just had a red card. They're kind of forced into it. As we continue on, as Jordan Ayew, their top goal scorer, comes on as well. I'm going to give just that little bit more praise. See if we can kick on. Looks like we are still dominating proceedings in this game. Going by the sort of the bars, but that's never a judge really, is it? I feel like we need another sub here. Abel Ruiz for Kent kind of looks about right. Abel Ruiz can play both up top and left wing, of course, as an inside forward. As Hickey seems to have been isolated here on his own against 2 of them. Ross McCrory now coming to help him, but Hickey still stuck. Free kick to Rangers, offside. Yay! That's really, really good, because Hickey was sort of very much isolated against the 2 of them there. So to hold our line well and let him just stray offside is good work. We will bring Nico Katic off for John Souttar. It's not his ideal position as a centre back. He's more of a ball player, but he is starting to tire. We've got another big game coming up that I need him for really, as Hickey whips that one in. Headed away, Sergio Gomez, Lowry, Harry Wilson gets a touch out. Hendricks, Benjamin Hendricks with his first goal for Rangers. What a time to score it. 3-0 in the Betfred Cup final. Celtic did also lose to Hearts last weekend, 2-1, which means we are top of the league on goal difference at present. We've got quite a comfortable goal difference on them as well. Very, very good play. Again, just recycling. The goalkeeper's been brought out by Harry Wilson, who had nowhere to go really. The goalkeeper's made a bad decision there. Wilson gets a shout from Hendricks, I assume, given the nature of the angle, to find him in all sorts of space, and he hits it on his weaker left foot, and he can't really miss as long as he hits the target. But again, it's good build-up play. This is the tactics that I want to see from this team that I have been missing in the last few games. The last few episodes. This is the performance I want you guys to see. This tiki-taka football, passing it around, rebuilding possession. Building a chance, recycling it, getting another chance, and keeping going. And Robbie McCrory, 347 consecutive minutes for Rangers without conceding. Not bad for a cup goalkeeper. Benjamin Hendricks takes man of the match. A guy who started very, very poor for us. Really kicked on since Stephen O'Donnell got injured. And he's nailed that position down as his own. We need guys like Klosterman to be doing the same and challenging here. But a very, very strong performance. I will see you in just a second for Nice. So it's Judgment Day. Our home record in Europe has been pretty good in general. Just a couple of blips, Dinamo, and there was one last season, Lyon last season, wasn't it? We've won every game in the Europa League at home this season. It's a away record, it's been a problem, 2 draws and a defeat. Whereas our home record is 2 wins coming into this game, but we need at least a draw from memory here, which should see us through. A win sees us through comfortably as group winners because Krasnodar can't overtake us on head-to-head regardless of their result, because we lost 2-1 there and we won 3-1 at home. The team that we've gone with, I think it's only 2 changes from the side that just beat Celtic. Harry Wilson comes in with Dolberg being injured. Baptiste Mayer comes onto the bench for that. He's not out for long, it was only a couple of days, but he wasn't quite fit enough, in my opinion, to come back into the team. And Harry Wilson's in, and Rajkovic comes in to the goalkeeping position. Despite Robbie McCrory's excellent performances, I felt again that was the right decision. They've also got a very, very strong team, some top players in amongst there, including that Busquets, who I have looked at a good few times and was interested in signing, and of course Saki at right back, who I believe Loki Doki has just signed in his CSKA Moscow save. Of course, be about a week ahead of what I'm saying, so that might no longer be relevant, depending on how his save goes, of course. But let's get into this game. It's must win, really, or must draw. But I'm going to go with it's an important match, do it for the fans kind of thing again, and there is no, let's say, a good performance. Now, that's not my usual one. It didn't quite work, as the goalkeeper's confused. I'm a bit concerned about that, and I'm slightly worried. Double checking I am recording, I am indeed, before we kick off, because the last thing I want is 2 games in the same game where I am, coming into the game a couple of minutes in, as it's whipped forward to Harry Wilson from Rajkovic. Great ball into Ryan Kent, he's on his own. Can he take a dig? He does, but Benitez with a big save. Did well to stand tall, then got down low and got his hand back up to get that as Kent whips in towards Katic. Benitez again out to meet it. Decent start though, and always follow that up with a get creative as they have their first yellow card after 6 minutes. Normally us getting early yellows because we have to get stuck in, stuck on, because I feel like my players don't tackle if get stuck in is not on. Thrown in from Hickey to Lowry, the 2 lads who have really broke into the team this year. Or the tail end of last year, started this year. McCrory whips it across for Benjamin Hendricks, goal scorer in that Betfred Cup final. It gets a bit of luck as it comes to Harry Wilson. Hendricks somehow gets credit for the assist as Harry Wilson scores his 8th of the season. And again, that maybe tells you how good the quality of our wingers have been. 8 goals this season, and he's 3rd choice right now. Hendricks' cross was double blocked, fell kindly for him. He hit on his weaker right foot first time into the far corner. Goalkeeper always going to struggle with that one, and that's why I said so often when the one-on-one bug was in place, they need to be hitting him at the far post rather than the near post, because that is so much harder to save for the goalkeeper. Hendricks with the throw to Morelos, who's told to stay in the box, by the way, but never seen him staying in the box. It's whipped in. Lowry with the header. Benjamin Hendricks with his 2nd assist of the game. Alex Lowry also with his 2nd of the season this time with the goals. Good header. I think both his goals have been headers actually. He's not prolific goal scorer, but he creates so much, and I absolutely love him in that midfield. So much interest in him again. Also lots of interest in Niko Katic. And I had a job interview approach for myself Not that I've applied for any jobs, but you know, you get headhunted in Football Manager sometimes. This time it's from Lazio, which I quickly and swiftly turned down. Colley throws in. Hendricks again having an absolute stormer so far. Doesn't find anyone with his clearance, but you know, sometimes that kind of clearance is the right thing. Saki against Aaron Hickey. I would normally back Aaron Hickey against a lot of people, but Saki is very good going forward. Gomez whips it forward for Kent. Kent doesn't get there, but just sticks his foot out and takes it after the lad's first touch. Stripped in for Harry Wilson. Can he find the ball across? No, he can't. He's just going to launch it against the side netting. Such a good ball from Kent wasted there. Such good play from Kent really wasted as well, as Harry Wilson does win it this time. He came across onto the left hand side. He's going to try and beat everyone and then shoot. I know this kind of run. I'm wrong. I'm glad I'm wrong, because Sergio Gomez smashes it against someone and then smashes it home. PSV also taking the lead against Krasnodar, and that could flip the other positions in this group upside down. You know, so often I've seen this run where they beat 4 or 5 people and then go in and they shoot and they miss it, and it frustrates me. This time the cross comes in. I'm wondering if that telling the wingers to shoot less often is actually working, because now they're shooting only when they're getting, you know, the clearer chances. Not that they're scoring every one of them, but they're finding the passes a bit more and it's coming into the middle a bit more, which is allowing the midfielders and the strikers to, well, the strikers haven't really scored any since doing that, but you know, it's allowing them to have a bit more chance as Morelos goes past his man. Morelos straight at Benitez. But you know, another decent effort on target. 3-0 up still, as we have Aaron Hickey out on that side having to defend. He's gone inside though. No, he's not. I'm looking at the wrong person. It must be Nito Katic that was out defending, going by the positioning that he took up after that run. Hendricks heads away only as far as Unas. Into Tronsden. Out to Colley. And Tronsden again. And again out to Colley. I was about to say it's a short pass, but he's managed to get there. Aaron Hickey cleverly just heads it back down to Predrag. Rajkovic is also starting to get a bit more confidence about him. You know, his rating still isn't great, but you can see it when he's on and off the ball now. There's a swagger when he's bringing the ball out. Like this is how he should be playing. So I'm hoping that this continues. That's a great ball, and that is what I love about Alex Lowry. We've got a VAR decision. I think it might have been offside. Regardless of whether that's offside or not, that is one of the passes that you will see. It's clearly offside actually. Fair enough. Clear rule out there. Good decision from VAR. But what a pass on the first touch from Alex Lowry to find him in the first place. And then Kent obviously doing the bit that he had to do. This has been another good performance, and you know, as I said to you guys, in the last episode I felt that you guys weren't getting to see how this tactic should be doing and how I had seen it in the first couple of games off camera. It just didn't seem to be working the same way. You're now getting to see that, and I wonder if something's just twigged with it. But I'm really, really enjoying it. PSV must have conceded to Krasnodar. They have indeed on the 45th minute, because I was just looking at the points there. I think they're out regardless. I think actually 2 points would take them to 7. Yeah, maybe head to head. I don't know what their head is. Is Batista Meyer is going to have to come on here, or Abel Ruiz? But I think I'm going to go with Batista Meyer. I'm going to trust him out on that right hand. In fact, no, I'm not going to trust him out on the right hand side. I'm going to switch him and Kent around. Give him the left. Give Kent the right. Send him on. See how he gets on. Di Maria launches in. They have a decent header, and excuse me, but that was pretty close. Just had a bit of wind there, so excuse me if that's picked up. Abel Ruiz will bring on for Morelos, give some fresh legs up top, as we've got one of the worst headers I've seen from Jose Martinez, miles over the top there. And I might even bring Sergio Gomez off, you know, for Gilmore or somebody. Di Maria loses out. Aaron Hickey showing that he is a top quality defender. He's currently got about an £11 million valuation just now. I'm amazed there's very little interest. I kind of feel like Abel Ruiz should have kept his pace there, because that first touch from the goalkeeper really wasn't good. Kent's nicked it anyway. He's got Abel Ruiz in space. He's taken a touch. Oh, he's hit it straight at the keeper. The keeper's position was very, very good there, to be fair. hit straight at him, makes it a bit too easy. That is a great corner by Batista-Mayer there. A little bit unlucky not to find Katic. Lovely dinked ball back from Sergio Gomez to Batista-Mayer. Doesn't get the luck off Saki, who's done fairly well. We are going to bring off Sergio Gomez for Billy Gilmore, and we'll keep him in the Mazelia position actually. I do want to play Billy Gilmore more. The problem is I don't want to develop him in any cost a fortune, so I'm trying to have that develop him enough that Chelsea are not going to want him and they're going to sell him cheap, and it doesn't improve his reputation too much. Abel Ruiz with a tap in here for 4. No disallow on this one. Another assist for Benjamin Hendricks as well. But solid play. It's just Lowry that spreads the play here. It's maybe not as good to pass as what I was thinking it was from the initial, because I was still talking, not really watching the play. And I can't remember what I was saying now. But I'm glad that you guys have now got to see an episode where I'm getting the tactic to do what it should be doing. And, you know, we're creating things, we're scoring things still. And we're playing how I like Football Manager to be played. Simple passes, not, you know, there's an odd long ball. But it's not that much. And it's built up, it's Abel Ruiz smashes another one in. Might have to play him in the next game now. He's done very well off the bench. Billy Gilmore, that's what I was talking about. I don't want to increase his reputation too much. I don't want to improve him too much so that Chelsea want to keep him where they want big money, because that cost us with Harry Wilson, of course. We ended up having to spend big money to keep him. And in reality, if I was to continue this save on past the end of the season, Billy Gilmore is a player that I really should be looking to sign because of the homegrown status. You know, right now he's in the squad. He's not registered for the Europa League because he's a free player. And even if he was, he'd still be a free player because we don't meet the homegrown requirements yet. You know, we will, because some of the guys that are classed as free just now would still go into those slots. But the more of those slots you've got, the more risk, you know, when someone comes in to try and buy one. You know, there's a lot of interest in Alex Lowry, for example. I don't particularly want to sell him. As Kent bursts through now for 6, can't quite get there. But, you know, so I would like to keep him sort of valued semi-low. Unless, obviously, we could get him on a free contract at some point. Ross McCrory, that's never a free kick, ref. The ironic thing is, if that's a free kick, it's a yellow as well, because it's cynical. Hendricks forward for Kent. Can he find the ball in for Abel Ruiz to get a hat-trick off of the bench? No, he can't. Lowry. Gilmore. Billy Gilmore with the goal. We're talking about 6, baby, in the words of Jurgen Klopp. But Billy Gilmore, I was kind of like, pass it to Abel, let him have his hat-trick. But a 92nd minute, 6 goal for us. And this is, you know, you've seen 2 performances now that I feel this team is so capable of and has not been shown. Now, I don't know if there's been an update since I recorded the last episode. Predrag Rajkovic, 280 minutes consecutive without conceding now as well. So, you know, that's defensively we've improved, going forward we've improved. We're converting more of these chances, as you see, 4 clear cuts, 2 half chances. All of them go in. Now, I promise I won't get into a rant about that today, so I'm not going to get into that about it, because I've actually got a smile on my face right now as we are going to look at where we come back for the next episode. Now, we've won our group, so that's great, because that means we should get an easier draw. In fact, I'll bring you back for that before I end the episode, and then we'll decide when we're coming back in the next episode. Okay, guys, now this maybe highlights how often I tend to do Europa League things. Basically says we're going into the second knockout round. So as you see, the first knockout round draw got done. Never got invited to it because obviously it's not relevant to us. As you see, PSV in there, they did actually manage to win and must have gone through against head-to-head against Krasnodar with that win. But, you know, we're not there. Neither's Nice or Krasnodar, to be fair. But it's in second knockout round. Now that won't be drawn until the 22nd of February. So, yeah, I'm not going to hold this episode all the way to then, when we've got probably 2, maybe 3 episodes between now and then. So, you know, it's kind of irrelevant. What I'm thinking is, we come back. Do you know what? Do we do the Old Firm game? We've just done an Old Firm game, and I said one of the reasons why I wanted to go to 1 game per episode is less Old Firm games. I felt last season we had 5 or 6. It was too much. So I think we give one of the other teams a shout out here, and we do Kilmarnock at home. So the last game before the January transfer window. So that would allow me to do that. I need to go and rearrange those friendlies. Why those friendlies have been arranged, I do not know. I have not arranged them. You know, I'm happy with them there, but they're not fixtures that I necessarily pick. Linfield makes sense because feeder club. That's off track. So we'll come back for Kilmarnock. That's the last game before the January transfer window where I can discuss what I am thinking. You know, it gives me a bit of a break from recording as well. You know, the last couple of games there's been 2 games record, which is very, very stop-starty, and it doesn't really match in with my sort of, you know, go, get to a record point, record, go, get to a record point, record kind of routine with Football Manager, which is different from Europa Universalis, where you just hit record it, and when you've got a time where, you know, the family are sleeping or they're out or doing whatever, I've got time, I can just record 5 or 6 in one go, or 2 or 3 in one go. But that sort of, you know, not worked with FM this year, and it has affected my record schedule, which probably has played part of contributing to my enjoyment of this mixed with the bug, you know, focusing more on the games that haven't gone good or the games that have frustrated me. Kilmarnock, one of the teams that have taken points off us this season. They took a draw at Rugby Park. I've got Rugby Park in my head. Sounds about right. And a 1-0 draw. In fact, one of the few games that I don't think we've scored in this season. In fact, I think we've scored in every other game. So the only team to keep it 0-0 again, to keep us not scoring. So that brings that decision for me. We'll come back for Kilmarnock. It's 4 or 5 games time. We'll then have the January window and then go from there. So next episode will be a January window preview and Kilmarnock at home. If you've enjoyed this episode, which I really hope you have, because this is one of the ones that I've enjoyed recording, you know, it's been 2 very, very good performances, then hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll hopefully catch you all next time.